Wow, 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 wow. The changes to war are kind of insane. Whether it's Spider Society getting massive boosts, or it's Mephisto just being impenetrable walls, or just simply on offense, War Ready no longer gets the 20% stat boost. Before we get into that, Alpha Flight's here, and this is going to change Alliance War also, right? This is going to be a defensive war team, but a lot of people are asking what the ISOs are going to be, and there actually is a lot of different opinions on Northstar. I'm going to start with Raider. Some people are going to be doing Striker. Some other people might be doing Skirmisher. I'm thinking about doing Wolverine Raider, Sunfire Raider, Guardian Striker, and then Sasquatch Skirmisher. Here is the ISO attack on Northstar. Now, the reason why this is interesting is that he has this mechanic that builds up over time. On 10 or more charge, apply trauma to the primary target. Now, in my testing, he was very rarely getting to this 10. Just like, even if you go through and do the trial mode, we get all kinds of free stuff. Actually, there's a bunch of really cool stuff in there, especially if you don't have like Nightcrawler fully unlocked. But you just get to like 3, you get to 4. It's like by the time he takes his third turn, maybe he'll have 10. So for now, I'm going to do Raider, but I do want to acknowledge I think this is pretty interesting, and I may be switching to Striker. So I went to Blue ISO 4. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on Blue ISO 5. And run, don't walk, go and do the nodes. All of the characters in those first 3 nodes, the test trials, are provided, so everybody should be able to get it. As a minimum, you're going to be getting tons of Ultimus food, and this is just one of the 3 nodes. Tons of great character shards and 600,000 gold. We need the gold, right? All right, so here are the 3 changes. And before I get into the 3 changes, I want to talk about why this may not be great. I do want to say that I do think that we needed more of a defensive meta. But they did 3 things at the same time. And maybe if they just did 2 of the 3 things, it would have been fine. Now, the first one is Alpha Flight. Now, that has not been brought to the game, but this is going to be a defensive team. It's beatable, but you're going to have to use somebody big like Apocalypse or Super Skrull. Maybe there'll be some secret team that the community will discover how to get through this team, but it's a very strong team on defense and war. Other thing about this team too is it feels a lot like a Carnage passive team. And Carnage passive, I mean symbiotes and or hive mind, where the team really only works on Carnage, for that matter, if you drop somebody into red and bottom 25%. Well, this team really only works if somebody dies. Almost all of the passives have something to do with on death. And so it kind of feels like it dominoes and is punishing and it snowballs. But if you survive that, it's very good. So that's the first thing. The next thing is Mephisto. Now, they changed Mephisto drastically. And this may not affect everybody. I'm going to come back to this post. But then the combination of changing Mephisto and removing the new war chapter buff. So we have a new chapter of war rules. It appears they decide to not give attackers it's the 20% stat boost like war seasons of past. Definitely makes things more challenging. Yeah, that on top of monstrous Mephisto boosts, and people are getting 15 defensive wins with Mephisto. It is bonkers. Scopelies, please think about the long-term consequences of these kinds of actions before you implement them. We all want the game to stick around and succeed. Mephisto is already the best character in the game. This is true. You do not need a buff, let alone the extent to which you buffed him. Now, I understand the people complaining are the ones funding your game. However, with this situation, it's clear they don't care about the longevity of the game. They just want shiny new things they spent money on to be impossible to beat until the next counter comes out down the line. You've shown that if they complain, you will change things. Power creep is inevitable in games like this, but you can still do that while keeping semblance of balance. Now, what are you going to have to release the counters? They're going to sell us a team. I feel like it may be people complaining about it, but at the end of the day, it's them that get to make the final decision. I suspect they want to build this impenetrable wall so they can sell us a war offense team that is specifically designed to beat Mephisto, and a Crucible team. Why not just break it up for every game mode? Sell an arena team that only does well in arena versus Mephisto. Sell a war team that only does well in war only against Mephisto. Do the same thing in Crucible. I think that's the reason why they're doing this, is that they've provided a lock and they're going to sell us a key down the line as a solution to this artificially created Mephisto problem that we have right now. Like I said, people are getting 10, 15 defensive wins on their Mephistos. It's not like you can triple tap it anymore. It's like, holy moly, we're going to do a release count of this. They complain about characters' performance. You're going to buff characters well. You showed everyone you will. Spirals to the next big character. Going to the point where we're going to have 30 minutes to read over the novel of a character's kick. Then another 30 minutes to figure out all the ins and outs of kit. There's already a thing at Galaxy of Hero on the novel kits. On the way fast here and how you all are handling things, they at least have some semblance of balance. You have to realize you have a very smart player base will figure out counters to things you release. No character should be impossible to beat across all game modes. I don't know what they're doing with Mephisto. Having to send in a sack team to be able to beat the character means the character's good enough as is. Power creep is going to be off the charts if you keep this up. You have no choice to keep the spenders happy. Mephisto did not need a buff. Power creep is going to be insane. No logical thinking person sees this as a good idea. I somewhat agree, yeah. And then I think for me, it's just the combination of Mephisto massive changes and the war ready changes together has made Mephisto unstoppable. I just don't understand why they did both of them at the same time. Why not just change one or the other? But they already were getting a defensive war team coming out very soon. So, also, I want to give a shout out to Beta Ray Bill. Because he was the first person to finish Dark Dimension 7, he was awarded a 3-diamond Old Man Logan. Okay, this right here is kind of funny. A way to cheese the web milestones of Spotlight raids. Turn off autoplay after 26 you have enabled and just go into the fight time. No, just quit the battle. Yeah, just go into the node, quit the battle, go into the node, quit the battle, go in the node, quit the battle, use up all your energy, clear 1 or 2 nodes. Don't overdo it, but spend all of your energy. Just make sure to use lose battle and not retreat for sure. Old Man Logan isn't as powerful as you should be. Man, Old Man Logan's a joke. At just under 70k, Old Man Logan barely managed to wipe the floor. My Icarus, Reckless, Kestrel King, and Cersei worth 1.2 and expected more from him. I'm really impressed my characters almost managed to take a turn before he beat them all. They really should have made him stronger. The whales deserve more. This is sarcasm. This is sarcasm. Oh my God. And then I wanted to read this because this kind of made me smile. The best thing to come out of Marvel Strike Force. 2 weeks ago, I married a man I met through Marvel Strike Force. Started playing this game in 2018, and soon after we joined the same alliance. We were friends for a few years, and then he stopped playing Marvel Strike Force, somewhat lost touch. But then I was traveling through the UK, doing house and pet sitting, and sent him a message, seeing if he wanted to meet up for a drink. Started talking nonstop after that, and we now are married. Life is funny. Never know how one little decision can change your life years down the line. Congratulations. Jean Grey, did you marry Wolverine or Cyclops? That's what I want to know. Let me know what you think in the comment section about these war changes. I mean, the other change that I didn't talk about in this video that's impacting a lot of alliances is the massive boost to hero spiders, which made Spider Society really hard to kill, and Infestation super hard to kill, right? It's a lot of stuff at once. It's a lot of stuff at once. All right, let me just think. Bye for now.